Let's get it!
Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yes!
But they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic Faika podcast with your hosts, Naki and Carl.
What's up, Naki? In the studio. Been a minute.
Been a
long minute. Long minute for me. I don't know. It's been a minute since both of us have been here in the studio.
Yes.
Between COVID and traveling and other things going on. We usually are here on Fridays. That's the promo. But this week it is Friday at 6 o'clock. We are season 7, episode 15. And what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the Polynesian Heritage Awards. We were there a week and a day ago.
Good.
It was
so
awesome.
Good.
We are definitely going to spend a lot of time on that. Rhythmic Catalyst had their show. Naki was there for that. We're going to talk about J2E, which was a week ago right now. It is, let me get this right because it is a mouthful. Asian American and Native Hawaiian / Pacific Islander month. There, I got it right.
Very good.
So happy AA ampersand N / NHPI month.
What did you say?
Ampersand.
Okay.
Ampersand. It's the and squiggly.
Got it.
Symbol.
Got it.
All right. So now you know what ampersand is, and you're just sitting over there. Don't play with your weenus.
Yeah.
You got 2 weenus. You know that.
Yes. Yes. I know what that
Naki's
means.
learning words.
I'm learning words.
So that's our show today. We're going to start with our check-ins. At the back end, we are going to have, we're going to show a interview that I did with Petey Toilolo and Jasmine yesterday. So there's going to be a lot of references to tomorrow, which is actually today. But that's the back end of the show. That's our show today. Naki, what's up?
Yeah, I don't even know where to start because we've done so much since the last show. Like last Friday, so a week ago, we went to Journey to Empowerment, which is put on by ours, and it was facilitated by Samoan Wellness Initiative. And Tone Vai was one of the he was the facilitator.
And Lexi Sailua.
And along with Lexi. And they talked about mental health in the PI community, which was awesome, amazing. I think
we knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be that good.
Right.
Like I knew going in, hey, this is a great topic. We need to talk about it. Anything but run of the mill. Like that was an energetic, really good.
Yes.
Really good discussion.
Yeah. So that was good. And I learned, what is it? Safety. What is it?
Comfort,
where you're comfortable, and
that's
then
it.
A little bit when you're a little bit uncomfortable outside your comfort zone you're learning. It's a stretch, and then when you're way out your comfort zone, it's the panic area, which I'm in a lot. Naki's Carl puts me in there.
Naki's told me panic several times since then. So thank you, Tone, for putting that vocabulary in Naki's head. She's using it.
Because I've been screaming panic all the time. So big shout out to SWE, which, by the way, they're celebrating this Wednesday, which we'll talk about that a little bit later in community announcements. But they did a great job. So Journey to Empowerment, which was awesome as usual. The Step Crew was there. Rocky was there. Leah, Alo, that like all the people with rhythm were there. They have Rocky has a step class that he teaches, Pacific Islander step class, which is not just he is Pacific Islander, but he teaches a step class. So the Step Crew was there. They're all skinny.
I've never seen Rocky in shorts before. He doesn't have calves. He's got like bulls.
Yeah.
Like
he has really he's very, very like
he's extremely fit.
He's extremely fit. And so are the people that are with him. So yeah, that was Journey to Empowerment. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Thursday?
Yesterday?
Wednesday. Mo has family that are in town from New Zealand. So they're his niece Hilton and her husband Dave and their 2 kids, and their daughter um, uh, Carissa and their son Angatupu.
Mm.
And so her son, he's 12 years old. And she's like, oh, meet my son, Angatupu. I gave him the biggest hug because, as you know, that is my youngest grandson. That's his name. And he's only 1 month old. So we went into the history of the name. It was awesome talking to them. They've been visiting the States for about 4 to 5 weeks.
Oh, wow.
So they're headed back to New Zealand within the next 5 days. But I learned a lot. I had such a great time. We were in Concord, went to dinner at Lucille's barbecue.
Ooh,
Yeah, it
Lucille's,
was
yeah.
good. It was really good. And then we watched a little bit of the game there. The Warriors won, by the way.
There's no close games in that series.
Yeah,
They're all
there's
blowouts.
no close
Like, I think
games,
one
but
game
that
was
was a good
close, and the
game.
rest of them, whatever team
Yeah.
won, they won by like 20.
Yes, so it was nice meeting them, and we'll hopefully, I mean, I think we're headed to Samoa in October for a family wedding. I think, I'm not sure, but yeah, lots and lots.
So they're here
of
4 weeks. Are they all over the country?
They've been
Just
all
in
over.
California?
So they
Or
flew into LA and then they drove to the Bay Area because they have family in Orinda. And then she grew up in Barstow, so they drove to Barstow and seen family and friends there. They went to Utah to visit. They drove. They
right.
drove
Yeah.
to
If
Utah.
you're already to
Yes.
Barstow, you may as well drive to Utah.
They drove to Utah. They drove to Las Vegas. They drove everywhere, and they drove to the Bay Area, did the touristy thing. So they're having a good time. They're having a good time. But
4 weeks. That's doing it right.
I love listening to them talk because they have the accent, which of course we have the accent to them, but they have an accent. So it was good. It was good to hang out with them. But that, work. And I think my lovey had her last softball game yesterday, and that was it. That was it. I think tomorrow we're going to the Atamai Dance Academy recital, which is happening at Le Maota at 1:00. So if people are free, stop by for the Atamai dance recital.
Awesome.
And that's what I got going on.
Yeah, so that's a lot.
That's a lot.
You met another Angatupu.
I met
the third Angatupu that you've known, right?
Yes, there's 4 so
4.
far. Yes, so yay. How was your week?
My week was good. It's NHPI month, so this Tuesday I was the PI representative of that for my company.
Oh yeah, how did that go?
You were really
going to
good.
Send me the recording.
I haven't got the recording yet, so
man, you guys are slow.
As soon as I have it, then you'll have it.
Yeah,
Becky's a little impatient.
No, because I'm used to at my job when we do a when there's
it wasn't a
panel.
Teams thing. It was anyway.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Awesome.
It was nice to see. There's only 2 speaking pieces for the month, and they're both Pacific Islander.
I love that.
Yes,
I love that because lately I've been watching the whole debate of everybody, the erasure of Pacific Islanders in that AANHPI month. Usually when that term is used, they're usually talking about Asian Americans most of the time, except if you're a Pacific Islander, then you're talking about the Pacific Islander. But because our population is so we're 0.04% in the United States, right? And
Pacific Islanders, I think, is 0.02. I think it's a really small percentage.
It's a really small percent.
Here, I'm going to read something real quick of why it's important to break us apart from that. So the National Cancer Institute's revealed for the first time that young Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders are the race group that experiences the highest rates of cancer death among people their age in the U.S. So the reason that this is news, especially for Pacific Islanders, is for a long time, until recently, race reporting the federal level in the U.S. lumped Americans of Asian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islanders into one single category. And in Hawaii, they're gathering the data. So they're disaggregating the data. We learned the importance of that during the pandemic. They disaggregated the data, and they found that Pacific Islanders we're the most at risk to die from cancer. in what is it, the 20 to 49-year-old segment. So we wouldn't have seen that data if we were erased, right? The erasure concept. If we didn't have that data disaggregated, we would be lumped in with the Asian Americans and we wouldn't be seen. So I'm kind of glad. So let's talk about the White House initiative, where the Asian girl lady said, don't worry about that. Nobody's going to remember that. Just go to, I'm glad that happened.
That's Jeannie Mai at an event that the White House,
Right.
Asian American, what is it? Their initiative hosted at the White House. And Jeannie Mai was one of the presenters.
Who does great things. Who does great things for her community. I'm not against Jeannie Mai, the way that she champions for the Pacific Island, I mean the Asian American community. But
yes, because she's Asian, so of course she's going to champion for the Asian Americans. For her. Right. But
I've talked to a lot of Pacific Islanders who are very upset about it. I'm upset by it too, but I'm glad it happened. I'm glad that sparks the discussion. Right. So it's right there.
Exactly what we're talking about. It's exactly what we're talking about.
Couldn't have brought it into the spotlight any better. So it was, offensive to a lot of Pacific Islanders, understandably.
Right.
But I'm glad because it sparks the discussion. Right. And we have to have that. We have to talk about it.
It had to happen for it to be brought into the light. Yeah.
So things happen for us, not to us.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. But I'm surprised that the White House didn't put out a statement or anything like that. But
yeah, I think that for me, and we should talk about this, like what does AAPI month mean? I look at it from two different perspectives. I look at it like, how are we seen, right? But I look at it more from like my own Pacific Islanderness, my Samoanness, and those kind of things. So I want it to be, for me and for us, right? It's Pacific Islander month every month, every week, every day, right?
Every day.
We live it. During the month of, it helps me focus on, that, hey, everybody's looking, and I can and I talked about that in my candid conversation with the company, was I look at it more from an introspective piece. Yes, it's great to celebrate and see everybody else celebrate us too. But for us, it's Pacific Islander month every month. So it doesn't get a lot different than that. We're always thinking about our culture and how we do. So that's kind of how I look at it. I look at it like it's not any different than any other month for us because we live it, right? But it is nice to see people talking about us and recognizing what we're doing.
Yeah.
How about you? What's it mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I'm happy that we celebrate. We're part of a celebration. But I really think we deserve our own month, and hopefully this conversation of erasure lately that's been being exposed or talked about more will help us get our own month to celebrate. But we're PBD. We celebrate every day, every week, every Thursday. I mean, every day of the year we're celebrating.
Think about it, right? If that's to shine the light on the Pacific Islanders and the Asian Americans, we're doing that for PIs. Like that's what we're centered around. So we're living that.
And we always talk about how we're the fastest growing ethnic
minority,
in the United States. So I don't know. I've seen the video of Jeannie Mai talking about the person that she's hosting with says, hashtag AA, what is it? NHPI.
NH/PI. I mean, that's why I was joking about it in the intro.
It was so long. I mean, she was like, nobody's going to remember that. Just hashtag Asian American Heritage, which is what she said. I personally think she was joking around.
Right. I think she's doing too much.
She was doing too much.
She was trying to make a joke out of because that is hard to N/N, like that is hard to remember.
You have to make the effort. You have to make the effort to be inclusive, include everyone, especially you're at the White House.
Well,
and you're at the White House
for that month.
For that month. We get 30 days or 31 days. Like, don't fuck it up, right? Like, and it was too late for that. Like the minute that came out of her
I feel
mouth,
bad for her because she's a Bay Area.
She grew up. That's why I was surprised. Like, you grew up in San Jose. You had to have at least 10 Pacific
Right.
Islander friends.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you went to high school there, you had to have, NHPI friends. So I'm surprised that she said that. But then,
Especially because like she's a champion for her community. Like I
Right.
get that. Go,
Right.
do what you do.
do what you do.
But unknowingly, she did bring it into the spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
Which
and I feel
was-
bad because
yeah.
now she's getting drugged. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like you did what you did.
Right.
But I am glad it happened.
Yeah. Yes, me too. And I see that in the chats or on people are posting about it saying, like they're going in on her.
Yeah.
And I see that it's kind of like 60-40 where the PIs are like, learn your, good thing this happened. Now you'll learn, you know better now because, you're going to do better because you know better. And then everybody is like, girl, are you, like just thrashing her? I don't know.
I saw it. I saw on social media. They're like, a Samoan girl must have took her lunch money when she was at school.
That's
And
awful. Why I gotta be a Samoan girl? Why I gotta be a Samoan girl? But yeah, so anyway, there you go. So we're done with that.
There we
I'm
go.
done with
Moving past. But I thought the study, the National Cancer Institute, to see that buried in, and we've talked about that, like our outcomes aren't the same as Asian American.
Right.
So when they finally took the data out, and we knew that, same with COVID and all that.
And they
we
know that too.
Right.
They know that too.
We have worse health outcomes. So hopefully we continue to disaggregate the data and continue to put boxes out there so that we can check the correct box. I think we're old enough to have grown up with other, right?
Yes.
And then came Pacific Islander, and now there's even some where they break them out into Micronesian, Melanesian, Polynesian. But
so that's awesome.
Continue to do that. Continue to move forward.
Right,
What else? What else we got? That's the week. But I mean, every event that we were at, I thought the Heritage Awards were.
Well, I forgot to mention that I went to Rhythmic Catalyst Fia concert, and Fee, who was in the studio, opened up for him, and then Mr. Migo, who I never heard of before, but JT, who's the promoter, him and really Jen and Christine are his bosses. But this Mr. Migo, he was really, really good. I never heard of him before, but I will go, listen to his music now. And Fee did a really good job. Her parents,
she's so confident.
She's so confident, and she sounds so good live. And so, her parents, I got to meet her parents, and they sat with us, and just her crew, everyone was so nice. It was a really well put together event, as always. Rhythmic Catalyst,
JT knows no other way.
First class. They're always first class. And so they
were you
did a
sitting
great
in the
job.
back in the rafters?
JT takes really good care of me.
Too good.
So, yes,
Too good,
I'm
brother.
spoiled
Too
now.
good.
I'm spoiled now. So we sat in the front, and we got to, Fia was amazing as always. He's a very good performer. But to see Fee on the stage, really, we were so proud, and like, I don't know. But her mom looked like so Mo's sitting next to me, and then the mom and the dad, and next to me, Tanya Sao, who is Adele's baby sister. It was her birthday. So we were celebrating just a little. But he thought Fee's mom was her sister, because she looks just like Fee. I mean, and she's a tiny little thing. So we got to meet them, and it was great meeting her family. I see where she gets that from, but it was a great concert. I had a great time, and I'm so happy that I went. And also the DJ, he was really good. He had the Warriors game up, so it was even better because they won that night. So it was a really good night. So thank you to Rhythmic Catalyst, Jen, Christine, and Mr. JT. Someday we're going to get him in here. Someday.
Speaking of Warriors, it just brings up sports. The NFL released the 2023 schedule, finally came out. All the football fans are out there looking. Yeah. Unfortunately, the Niners going to start 0-1 this year because they start in Pittsburgh. Week 1.
Oh, please.
In Pittsburgh.
Get out of here with that.
That's 0-1 for the Bang Bang Niner gang, and
hey,
1-0
JT.
for the Steelers.
JT is on. Thank you. Hi, JT. Hi, Lily.
What's up, JT?
So yeah, you guys are gonna get dished your first loss?
Probably
Are they
y'all
playing in
NFC
Santa
championship
Clara?
team game, and we didn't make the playoffs. No, what's that?
Is it in Santa Clara?
It's in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, we should go.
I'm going to, there's a bunch of us, including brother Augie.
Oh, you guys are going?
And T, and a bunch of us are going to go
Nice.
to the game in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
Oh,
We're going to go see that new stadium.
Pittsburgh versus the Raiders.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Very nice.
That'll be fun. But September 10th probably is the day before your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
So probably be a bad birthday present for you when the Steelers play the Niners.
I'll say something to you right now. I'll say something to you
Things
right
are
now.
so different now because 4 or 5 years ago it would have just came flying out.
I know. I'm really good at cleaning up my language.
You are.
I've been.
You
really
have
good.
been.
Yes.
They're still, but then they're so few and far between that unless you're listening carefully, you might miss them.
Yeah. Anyway. Polynesian Heritage Awards.
So this isn't even a check-in, right? So really, I was going to go into it, and I'm like, no, this is a topic. This is something that we gotta talk about.
Yes.
What a night! They outgrew their original. So a few years ago, Naki and I attended. I think it was the second annual, and it was the second annual Polynesian Heritage Festival, Heritage Awards, and it was in Colma. And then they really outgrew it by last year. By last year, they had so many people that it was hard to fit.
At the Colma Community Center.
The fourth one.
The fourth one.
But really, they probably outgrew it then because they sold out, and then it was but it's a good problem. That's a good problem to have, to outgrow the venue. So this year, they moved the venue into San Francisco and packed the place still. So awesome turnout by the community, and every bit of that event was just top notch.
Right.
From the minute you got onto the red carpet, where we were, thank you, Monofo, for letting us play around on the red carpet, to the entertainment. The entire night was extremely well put together, and so nice to see our people all dressed up. Red
carpet. We got to host the red carpet. We talked to a lot of people, did interviews, and thank you to Bex, who came out. Bex to Omalatai.
Bex was our fashion consultant on the red carpet.
She was looking fly that night. She looked so beautiful. And so she came out to help us on the red carpet and did an amazing job. So thank you, Bex. Lots of winners that night. Reno and Hawaii was the host, the MC, and the Polynesian Heritage Award was brought to you by Pacific Islander Community Partnership, and they did a great job. EPV Films went live with the event, so if you didn't catch it, you can go rewatch. Is that a word?
Yep.
You can go rewatch it on EPV Films.
So if you didn't catch it,
YouTube.
You'd be watching it for the first time, but it's on there. It's on their YouTube. I think it's on their webpage probably too.
And their YouTube page.
Big shout out to EPV Films
Yes.
for their very professional. I mean, they had the gear. They had the setup. I just geek out on their gear.
Those are our pictures. That was on the red carpet, these lovely ladies. And then we got to meet Sean Manaea, who is the pitcher for the San Francisco Giants.
He's much taller than he appears.
Way taller. There we are with Bex and Carl and myself. We just had a good time. PJ, of course, looks amazing. He always looks so fly.
What was funny was on the way there, all three of us, Mena, yourself, and myself, on the way there, we were saying, I wonder what PJ is gonna wear, because and it was kind of he outdoes himself, and now he's kind of got him painted himself in a corner, because every time there's an event where you dress up, he knows he's got to come big
every time we see PJ. So PJ was super fly. He was so handsome. That's the MC, Reno and Hawaii. He did a great job that night. We also got to meet Faika, who they performed that night. Who else performed that night? Tons and tons. The sisters. They did a great job. They opened up. It was just a well put together, beautiful event.
Flowed really nice.
Yes.
Reno did a fantastic job.
The MC.
Food was amazing.
always.
Food was efficient. They got everybody through, and
Yes.
they just did a really good job of keeping the room moving, keeping the event live. Like it always
Yes.
felt like there was something
going on.
going on.
Yeah.
The cultural piece was there.
Mhm.
It was just a really cool event, and as we see this evolve into,
Yes.
next year it's the same. Hey, they're the same as PJ's outfit, right?
Right.
Next year, but the community is
wait
going to
to
be like, what are
see.
we going to see? What are we
Right.
going to do? So, and then I think the outfits evolve, all those kind of things, and it's going to become. It already is, but I
Right.
think that it will begin to reach well beyond the PI community. I think
Yeah.
that there's going to be, regular mainstream media at some point is going to be involved.
Oh, right. Definitely. I think I see that happening next year. Congratulations to all the nominees, all the winners. Education Activist Award went to our Pie Fest, Lola and Matt. Congratulations to Pie Fest. Pacific Islander, encouraging fun.
I am trying to get there.
Encouraging fun. What is it, Mena?
Oh, Pacific Islanders encouraging fun, entertainment. No.
We suck. That's
engineering,
awful.
science,
There you
technology,
go.
and
I went blank. Science,
math.
and technology. No, Pacific Islanders.
Pie Fest.
Yes, Pie Fest. There you go.
You know, the bad thing is we always mess up what the acronym is for.
Yeah.
But man, do we love what they're doing. We
Yes,
got to
Matt
MC
and
their
Lola.
event.
Yes.
And they just do.
And Lola looks so good. And also, I want to shout them out because that night they gave us the ulas, hibiscus. It smelled
They gave us
so
a lei,
nice.
and
I
it
think
was,
you can see it in the pictures that we posted.
Both Naki and I were looking at each other like, all right, now we gotta.
I deserve?
We gotta do something.
It was so beautiful, and they did a great job. And I think either the aunt or the mother, her aunt or mother, made it. It was so beautiful, and they did such a great job. So congratulations again to Education Activist Award went to Pie Fest. Our Matt and Lola, congratulations.
Polynesian Business of the Year.
Okay.
Crack Otai.
Crack Otai. Crack Fusi and her Crack Otai. Toke Moana
Was the Poly Business of the Year.
And
they're everywhere.
They
are everywhere. They find ways. I mean, they donate food. They are involved in so many, like you see their name.
Yes.
All over the place,
and a lot of
all of the events.
I think most of the all of the nominees were there. Mobligated and his family, they looked beautiful. Of course, we sat next to Kiss My Boba. Siva International looked fly with the burgundy velvet jacket. I mean, everyone was there.
I love
it was
seeing the
just
groups
amazing.
that came in with a
Yes.
theme, right?
Yeah.
They came in like the table is a theme.
Right. So it was awesome. So congratulations to Toke Moana. And then Community Organization of the Year went to Stag Elite.
What a great speech.
Yes, he gave a great speech.
What a great speech
so
about
good.
uniting with community and giving back and maintaining your culture.
And they were he's so humble and so gracious. He and Cora just do a great job with the youth, the football program that they have going on, that they serve hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids. And we went to their crab feed that they had, which was off the hook.
It was amazing was they had Henry To'o there.
Yes.
Got drafted to
the NFL.
And he was there talking about, community, talking about education, talking about the things that are important beyond football. He wasn't up there just talking about football. So nice to see him go in the draft. Congratulations to all the Pacific Islanders that went in the draft, and the Pacific Islanders that are moving around from different teams. You're seeing, a lot of them getting picked up, undrafted free agents. It's a big deal. It's a great time. But Stag Elite, shout out to them as the community organization of the year. Look for them to continue. They're 8 years, 8, 9. They've been around for a minute.
They've been
doing a lot of things. A lot of people are like, who's Stag Elite? Pay attention because they're doing great things.
Right. The co-ambassador award went to our very own
Feel Good Cuts.
Feel Good Cuts, Phil Alapati. Well deserved. Everyone in that category, whoever would have won, of course, everyone is a winner.
Right.
But that night it went to Phil Alapati, Feel Good Cuts. He does a lot of amazing stuff.
He's in
Fitness,
he's in sports,
he's
an
a food critic.
entrepreneur. He is a food critic.
Yeah, but he is he's very health conscious.
Yeah.
And so you can see him, on social media.
You ever run the
promoting.
dunes with him?
No.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. I'll throw up.
I see pictures of the stuff
Every
they do.
Sunday, Phil and his crew run the sand dunes.
And they ride every
my
other week. Is it every week,
yes,
the bike ride?
I think it's every week.
Oh
every
my gosh,
week. So,
they do a ton of really cool things.
Yes,
and that's
do
part of where the food
tons.
critic comes from. They end up at a business. They all eat at the same place.
Ride Out Posse. So
Right.
it's the Ride Out Posse, and there's like 100 guys on bikes, and they're riding, I don't know, like 15, 20 miles all over the city. And then for lunch, they stop at a local mom and pop restaurant, and they all have lunch there to support the local business, which I love. So I love that Phil got the award, received the co-ambassador award that year. So, but congratulations to everyone.
I talked to him
category.
at Stag Elite.
Nice.
And I was like, hey, where you all going to end up on, when your bike ride? Maybe we'll show up. And he's like, well, let's make it happen. You tell us where to end up. I was like, dang. That's so Phil. You name it,
Phil.
We'll ride there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something we may do.
Yes.
Set up shop, and we're not going on the ride. We'll end up at the restaurant to partake in the food.
So congratulations to the co-ambassador award recipient, Phil Alapati.
And the former award was Polynesian Entertainer of the Year. Now it's the Swamp Cat Entertainer of the Year, Cutthroat. And man, he gave it
was such an emotional
from the heart.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he said he had some things to say, wasn't sure, and he got up there and was just honest. He's like, man, I didn't expect to win, not sure what to say. And what was funny was he actually won his award before Stag Elite won. Right. And then he got up there and he's like, oh, I know how Cutthroat feels now. I'm in the same spot. So really cool to see them. He was up there with his family later, too. So,
so
big night for Cutthroat.
Cutthroat did a great job. And you can also catch them at Pacific Feats. They'll be at Pacific Feats Festival this summer, July 8th and 9th. But we'll also talk about that in a little bit. But they're doing I was happy for them. Their dad was a big community leader. And so their father also got recognized that evening. So it was a great night for everyone. And then who else? I think there was the big,
then they had, those were the People's Choice Awards, right?
And then they had Polynesian College Athlete of the Year. Did that go to Henry?
No, it went to did it go to Henry?
Yes, it went to Henry Toto, which of course he's getting ready to go to the NFL. Congratulations to him. So they had a lot of PI kids that were up for nomination, but they all, of course, everyone that got nominated, everyone that was there that night, we all win. We all win because and it was a beautiful night because it was us celebrating us, and a big shout out to PICP for putting on this amazing evening, which we'll talk about again a little later.
Right. Melissa Natane Jones had to do the acceptance speech for Henry.
Oh, that's nice. Yes, Melissa Natane Jones. She was there that evening. She looked beautiful, stunning as always. So I mean, so much. You have to really be in the room with all this greatness that was. I mean, Pacifica excellence, which happened that evening, and I was so proud to be a part of that.
Just be there
entity.
to be in the room.
To be in the room.
To be in the room is a big deal. And so next year, I don't know if they end up in the same place. Like it was pretty tight in that place. They may outgrow that next year.
Outgrow it, right?
But when those tickets go on sale, I think they sold out. They sold out. They definitely sold out, but they sold out 50% quick.
Yes.
Right. So, get in there early when these come out. This is an event. This is one of those where now this is kind of etched in. As soon as we find out when the Amu barbecue is in August, we mark that down. And now this is one of those that go on the
Heritage
calendar.
Fair. Right. I mean, it's always in the month of May, to celebrate NHPI folks.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a thing. So yeah, great event, Polynesian Heritage Awards by PICP. Reno and Hawaii did a great job as the MC. So thank you for a great evening. And we've posted tons and tons of pictures of that night. And so if you missed it, check it out. But yeah, big shout out to Michael Tan, who's on with
Behind the Lava. And we
podcast.
figured out the MMA collaboration with Behind the Lava. We are going to pick an event. We're going to pick a big card. We're going to preview it on Friday, and then we're going to have a watch party on Saturday. So we'll preview the card, and then we'll have the watch party on Saturday. There's a big running joke going on with the four of us, who's actually the very worst at predicting fights. We all claim that we're the worst, so we're actually keeping track of our horrible picks that we make each time we're on. Yes. And we'll get a scoreboard update on that in our next show. But yeah, it's going to be fun. We'll do the live, so we can't show the fight, obviously, right, but the watch party is us reacting to what's going on. And so if you're not watching the fights, you can tune into that, and we'll kind of give a live play-by-play as we go, and give our reactions as we go.
Very nice. Very nice. Is this an event in LA? No, this event happens in the Bay Area. It happens in San Francisco every year in the month of May. That is Michael asking. The Polynesian Heritage Awards happens, of course, in May in the AANHPI month.
They have a Facebook and a website,
yes,
right?
Instagram.
HeritageAwards.com.
Yes. So go check them out, and then look for the dates. And then, they sell tickets, and then they announce the nominees during, I think January or November or something like that. But
yeah,
it's
the People's Choice Awards open up, I think, in January, February. Yes. And then those are the ones that are voted on. So you get nominated, and then the nominees are put out to the public to vote on. Yes. And then they close the voting, they figure out who won. Right. And then there's Lifetime Achievement Awards, which I think is PICP. The organization picks the Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Yeah. So it's a great event. I mean, just look out for it. And of course, we'll be announcing every year when it's up. So we're just so grateful to be a part of that. But we're also going to New York City in September for the very first HAVA New York City and in Lincoln Center.
And Naki's first trip to New York.
My first trip to New York. So I'm so excited to go to HAVA New York City. It's happening September 29th and 30th at Lincoln Center. Follow them on Instagram. It's a free event, and there'll be lots and lots and lots of dancing, lots of food, lots of art. So there you go.
Before we move on, because I know we have the interview to go, a quick shout out, because I know that Behind the Lava is on to Matai Watches, mataiwatches.com. It is a Samoan-owned business that has the culture in the watches. They have a women's line and a men's line, so check them out at mataiwatches.com.
Very nice. Very nice. So are we doing community?
Want to do them before or after? You want to do them right now?
Yes.
All right. Pacifica Boss Up is a summer enrichment entrepreneurship program that aims to support, empower, and foster the future generations of Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander entrepreneurs in San Mateo County. The program will introduce participants to the basic steps and skills needed to launch and maintain their own business. Learners will participate in project-based hands-on learning and meet Pacifica business professionals. Pacifica Boss Up is open to Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander youth in 7th through 12th grade who live, work, go to school in San Mateo County. The date for the program is June 26th to July 28th, Monday through Thursdays from 10 to 2 at Le Maota in Burlingame, right? Mm-hmm. Register by clicking the link in Samoan Solutions Instagram page.
Island Grad is taking place on Saturday, May 13th at the San Bernardino Valley College Greek Theater starting at 6 p.m. The event is designed to honor all the graduates of Pacific Islander heritage from class of 2023, including high school graduates, community college, grad school, tech, everything. This is a free event and free parking will be provided. In addition, there will be complimentary food. Can't be a PI event without food. First come, first serve basis from 3 to 6. The graduation ceremony will commence at 6 p.m. and conclude at 8 p.m. Yeah, right. For more information, it's a PI event. It gonna run over. For more information, contact them at contact@islandgrad.org.
PIs and the IE, Pacific Islanders in the Inland Empire. Go check them out at San Bernardino Valley College. So the Samoan Community Development Center is pleased to announce their upcoming Samoan Wellness Initiative event entitled Ele Tu Tasi Se Tangata, We Do Not Stand Alone, which will take place on May 17th, which is this coming Wednesday, only 5 days away from right now, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the Southeast Community Center, located at 1550 Evans Avenue in San Francisco. We'll see you there.
We'll be there. Pacific Islands Together Shine Day is happening May 20th at Jefferson High School from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is a free family event with dancing, music, performances, and lots of food vendors. If you're interested in being a vendor, reach out to pitvendorinfo@gmail.com.
Want your good PI food? Make it to some of these events. You're going to see PI food vendors.
Oh my gosh, so good.
That's where our eyes go. The first time when we walk
food.
through the front of an event.
Yes.
Where's the food? Where's the trucks? Where's the vendors?
And honestly, if you don't have food, we ain't gonna be there. Just kidding.
Essence of Mana's parenting class starts back up June 1st at 6 p.m. It's via Zoom. This is a free 12-week course that is designed to support adult family members by developing communication skills and tips, which will hopefully lead to a more nurturing family relationship. For registration, contact Nani Wilson at nwilson@aars.org or Lulu Massina at lmassina@healthright360.org.
Okay, Britt was like, "Okay, Carl," when you did the she's all like, "Okay, Carl." Oh my goodness. All My Usos Family Day is happening August 19th, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Gilman Park in San Francisco. It is a free family event, free resources, haircuts, entertainment, STEM, jumpers, food, everything you can think of is going to be there. Just be there.
Make sure you're there.
Yes. Contact Christine Moia with any questions, or if you want a table, Christine@allmyusos.org.
That's definitely one you will see us there.
Yes.
We'll have our big tent with our name on it that
Hopefully.
we've been throwing around a lot. So definitely the event of the summer right there. Whangongo o Samoa's casting call. They're inviting all actors and actresses to audition for the upcoming play that will be open to all age groups. While experience is preferred, it is not required. Auditions for specific roles will be held, and all cast members, I'm going to say this slowly, all cast members will be required to attend weekend rehearsals. If you're interested, please contact Samoan Solutions through their Instagram or Facebook page.
Awesome.
Pacific Feats.
Okay. I was like all into that thingamajig. Pacific Feats is happening July 9th and 8th. It's a 2-day event. I'm like, it's put on by Pacific Feats Festival.
We're falling apart here.
Here you go. Pacific Feats Festival is happening July 8th and 9th at the Plaza de Cesar Chavez in San Jose, California. They've been adding artists every week, and it's packed. They have Drew Deasy, Young LB, Hi Guy Lai, Cutthroat, Reno on Hawaii, Spawn Breezy, Fiji, Sammy, like the list goes on. Kenyon Brown. I mean, it's a packed event with a lot of great artists.
Where's that at again? It's July 8th and 9th.
July 8th and 9th at the Plaza de Cesar Chavez.
Oh, look at Naki. Aquí se habla español.
Aquí no habla español.
Well done.
Yes,
and we are through.
Get your tickets at pacificfeatsfestival.com. It's a 2-day event, and we will see you there. And then, is that it?
Talofa everyone, this is Auntie Lena speaking, so please listen up. There's a disease out there that's killing our people. It's called hepatitis B. 1 out of 12 immigrant Pacific Islanders are infected with hepatitis B in the US, and it makes you 100 times more likely to get liver cancer. 2/3 of those infected don't know it because there are often no symptoms until it's too late. Ask your doctor for a Hep B test today or call us at 510-674-5843 or visit us at sfhepbfree.org. Find us on Facebook and leave a message. A 5-minute test can save your life, so just do it. This message brought to you by SF Hep B Free.
All right. We are with two leaders from the Central Valley. I would say the 209, but there's different area codes down there now, so I can't just say rep in the 209. But we have Central Valley in the house, and we have an event that's happening tomorrow that we want to talk about. We have two of the speakers that are going to be there at the Asian Pacific Islander Resiliency Summit. So we're going to get to know the players. So on my right-hand side, I'm not sure how this ends up playing out, but we have Petey Toilolo. He's a Pacific Islander creative who was born in the Bay Area and raised in Modesto, California. After a decade of incarceration for crimes he committed in his youth, his focus now is community, the arts, firefighting, family, and culture. Petey has managed to build a videography and photography business called The Living Room Media, as well as become a wildland firefighter for CAL FIRE. He's currently writing media curriculum to teach all ages, working on client projects and raising family. He's also the newest member of the Pacifica by Design media family. So welcome, Petey.
Thank you.
Petey's with one of my favorite characters, Wody. I don't have a dog, so every time I'm around somebody with a dog, I like adopt their dog. So got to spend some time with Wody a few weeks ago. I believe Petey's coming to us from a church. So our next guest, also going to facilitate the Asian Pacific Islander Resiliency Summit tomorrow, is from Stockton, California, where she began her organizing career in South Stockton. She was also one of the co-founders and founding members of the Stockton Schools Initiative that began in 2015, where she worked with students and families to fight for educational change through policy. Always something hard to do. Change policy, that's very difficult. She has helped advocate to bring ethnic studies into schools and push for college, career, and community readiness in school. She has led the charge for many projects, including pushing to dismantle the school to prison pipeline work. We're going to talk about that. Advocating for restorative justice and investments in counselors and restorative justice coordinators. Welcome, Jasmine. All right. So we kind of want to get into, before we get into what's going on tomorrow, we want to get to know a little bit about you. Petey is a veteran. He's been on the show. He's been in studio. He's been some of the events with us. So we'll start with Jasmine. I see the very admirable work that you've been doing in the community, specifically through education. Talk a little bit about what you've done. And obviously, 2015, I think, was a time where the Stockton Schools Initiative began, but kind of talk through your journey of how you arrive at speaking tomorrow. We'll talk about the event tomorrow, but what was your journey that brought you here?
Yeah, thank you. So I came into this space as really as a youth organizer. I first got involved in this work as someone who grew up in Stockton and really hated my community. I remember that by the time I graduated, I wanted to leave and go as far away as I can. But growing up, we know that growing up in a traditional Samoan household, that family means a lot to you. And so for me, it was staying close to home. And I remember just kind of trying to figure out what I wanted to do and kind of being miserable, trying to be a young 18-year-old, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And thankfully, I had a friend who had shared an opportunity for me to participate in an internship with then at the time a city council member who was the youngest at the time ever elected in a city of our size, who was the youngest Black council member, Michael Tubbs. And it was the internship that I had with him that really was one of the turning point for me that sort of introduced me into the world of organizing, the world of the political landscape, and it was my internship under his city councilmanship that sort of led me to an opportunity where I was offered to go to Tennessee to a farm called the Alex Haley Farm that was located in Tennessee, where I met civil rights leaders like Miriam Elderman Wright and Reverend Jim Lawson and Reverend Otis Moss Jr. and several other civil rights leaders that sort of really impacted and paved a lot of sort of the grounding footwork of why I got into this work. So not only did I do education equity work, I sort of worked at the intersections of the juvenile justice system, the criminal justice system, to really dismantle systemic racism and oppression that has happened in many of our communities and work. And so that sort of is a little bit of how I got involved into the work of community organizing. But obviously there's a lot more to that story, but that's sort of a short story that I've had.
Well, we're going to dig more into that. Definitely, anybody who's involved in the school system is trying to change policy. That's not something where you can meet with somebody today, you know what I mean, and get things done, right? You got to organize, you got to facilitate, you have to bring data, all those kind of things, and it's so important because not a lot of people want to go through that. Not a lot of people want to go through or tackle the things that you're tackling. So very honorable choice, life choice, right? So this is what you've chosen to be a part of, and a lot of pieces of that is just the bureaucracy and the how long it takes to get things done. It really speaks to the the will, the persistence and dedication to the kind of the long game, which a lot of people don't have. So thank you, Jasmine. Petey, talk to us about, you've been on a few times, you've been on before, talked about, kind of your journey. But I don't think we necessarily talked about how you would end up here, facilitating a summit, and, doing what you're going to do tomorrow. So kind of talk about your runway to where you're at right now.
Man, I don't even know where to start. I've just been on a journey for the last 2 years. So I've only been out for 2 years. And I've just been trying to put myself in positions where I see the people that are making plays like Jasmine, and I've just been reaching out to them. And I don't know everything. I'm not the best at everything that I got my hands on, but I know I want to be in this line of work. So things just been running to me. PBD came to me by Simone Solutions, and I just been on this mindset of just I want to be a part of the people that are making these plays in the community. So how I got to this point to be at a same speaking level as Jasmine is kind of like I don't know what's going on, but it's definitely an accomplishment, and I feel just blessed. It's one of those things where I was just like, damn, like if you really put your mind to something, or if you have the right intentions, things just kind of open up for you, and I feel like I'm seeing it unfold in real life.
I think those are some of the things that, as you see things unfold and you speak them out to the universe, or, you say the prayer, you say the words, you believe in what you're doing, and then you work hard for it. I think things come when you're doing those, kind of doing all the right things kind of fall into place and things move faster than you think they would at some point. So being where you're at may be somewhat of a surprise to you, but to be honest, there's a whole ocean cheering you on, right? Both of you. There are, your community, your people, and not only just, necessarily Pacific Islanders. Like we're you're outside of the niche of just thinking Pacific Islander. You're affecting all kinds of people. And, when we're talking about kids, we're working with kids, or we're working with, we'll get into the summit tomorrow. We talk about, getting a channel back into society or doing those things and making things, kind of a runway. Those are important. And you cast a big shadow on, your journey and where you're headed. So both of you have different runways, right? Different on ramps to the freeway, but they both lead to the summit tomorrow. And I believe, right, this is kicks off at 8:30. I think is breakfast. I think it's sold out actually. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. Um, Unfortunately, and Jasmine and Petey can correct me, but I'm not sure that you can get into the event now. But it's still important to talk about because of what it is. The message that it's bringing. So actually, I'm not going to. I was going to read a little bit, but that's boring. Reading's boring. Let's let Jasmine talk a little bit about what tomorrow is, what the intent of the talk is.
Yeah, so the Asian Pacific Islander Resiliency Summit is hosted by several of our local partners here in the city. Our EMAC, which is Empowering Marginalized Asian Communities, our Delta Phoenix Project, and Stockton OVP, our Office of Violence and Prevention. And so, in particular, this Resiliency Summit was really brought to bring together the Central Valley and Stockton sort of Asian Pacific Islander young people, particularly who have been system impacted, who've been those who've been most left out of the conversation, most left out of the investments and policy choices and decisions that we often talk about. A part of this Resiliency Summit was to sort of offer space to really share and highlight the work of our Asian and Pacific Islander brothers and sisters who have been able to sort of, who have made decisions and choices that are able to sort of empower our young people by sharing with them some of the lessons and things that we have learned over our time. And a part of this summit, has been really dedicated to sort of be grounded in sort of the opportunity to really live and display AAPI solidarity with one another. We will be hearing from a Buddhist monk, and we'll be hearing from other Southeast Asian sort of partners and folks who have been system impacted, who have been leading work nationally and locally and across the state in movements that have been huge. And we have an amazing lineup of folks who are going to be keynoting, but we also have a very strong, powerful list of Pacifica leaders who are going to be leading workshops. And oftentimes when we talk about Asian and Pacific Islanders, we are never at the conversation, never at the table facilitating and leading. And there was a lot of intentionality to really invest in Pacific Islanders sort of representation within this summit. And so really the idea and the purpose and goal for this summit is just to really be able to highlight those experiences of those who are going to be speaking, but also to just empower and educate and inform and build with our young people some of the lessons that we've learned, to be able to take them back to our households, our families, and to build a bigger, stronger collective community that we all desire to be a part of.
I love hearing people that are extremely passionate about what they talk about, because sometimes, in the pre-show, we're kind of like, how are we going to go? But once we get flowing, we get rolling about what the actual topic and the intent is. It's nice to see Jasmine's eyes light up, and here is, the feeling, the emotions behind what's going on. And I think that we got to have that, right? We got to have that fire to make things happen. When you're trying to be of service, right? If you're just trying to come to work, clock in, get paid, go home, not that that's ever easy, but it's different than when you're in trying to change things, right? So fantastic to see the fire behind you, Jasmine, as you talk about what's important. So, Petey, I know that you're going to be discussing, I think you're going to be discussing career development. So actually, let me back up. I'm going to talk a little bit. So the other speakers, along with Petey and Jasmine, are going to be Patrick Kamanjian, and he's from Trauma and Healing. He's going to talk about trauma and healing. Virginia Unga, and that's financial literacy, something we definitely need help with. And Aisake Tuiono, and that's also Aisake is going to talk about financial literacy as well. So those are the speakers for the summit tomorrow. I know, Petey, you're going to be talking about career development, and I know you don't want to give the same talk twice. So maybe just talk about what you want to, kind of from a topic standpoint, without getting into the meat of it, because you have this to deliver tomorrow. What are the topics that you want to inform the audience on?
So I'm gonna I don't like to I try not to talk about what I don't know. So I'm gonna share my experience, and because there's some big wigs, and I'm kind of nervous now the the way she explained it. But I'm just gonna share my experience, and one of the main things that I'm gonna be emphasizing is networking, because since I've been out, and even while I was in prison, that's all I did was network. Whether I knew it or not, I was networking to try to find people that had common interests as me, um, people that knew something that I wanted to know. I always try to get around. If he even had an attribute about himself that I wanted, I would go hang out with him to come to hopefully it'll rub off on me. This guy was well spoken, so I wanted to go hang out with him. So networking for me has been a big, I guess, a push of mine. So it's definitely something I want to emphasize and teach. Do's and don'ts. What's worked for me, what hasn't, and ultimately just kind of picking the brain of the crowd, because I don't want it to be all about me. I want to learn the room. I want everybody to, not just show up to this event, but I want you to show up to the event and meet people. Because that's what I do. I go whenever I'm somewhere. It's super important that you meet these people, because you never know where that leads you. And I can attest that to now. It's look where I'm at now. It's all just off, word of mouth and just being genuine.
Yeah, and I'll tell you from personal experience, Petey he walks it like he talks it. We were in Modesto to brainstorm, put our thoughts together, and I think we were just something as silly as just going through the Starbucks drive-through. And man, we got into a conversation about entrepreneurship and somebody he wanted, to connect me with. And it was a networking conversation. So to take every opportunity and really look at what I can maximize out of that opportunity, networking is one of those things, right? So you can be in the room and just be in the room, or you can be in the room and be intentional and say, who can I meet? What, how, and may not even be for me, right? I may meet somebody and go, like Petey did. He was like, you and this guy need to talk. Right. So it may not even be necessarily personally, but when you're looking at your network and trying to hook people up, that all pays dividends in the end. And just real quick before we go back to Jasmine, Petey, you're the captain of your story. You're the hero of your story. You're the captain of your ship. Nobody knows that better than you. So when you're speaking about that, you're the expert, right?
Yeah.
You're the subject matter expert with that, and everybody's interested. And I think those are, having big wigs in the room. There's no bigger big wig than you of your story and what you got to tell. So I'm sure you'll seize the opportunity to make those networking pieces happen. So Jasmine, same idea, without giving the entire, giving it away of what you're going to talk about specifically, but what are some of the topics that you're going to cover tomorrow that are, that you think of as this is one of those important things that I need to cover? And then obviously you're going to go into the details tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. And I just gotta say, Petey is so humble. This cat, he's already, yeah, he needs to stop. Anyways,
well, I think there's a point in that, right? You're a role model, whether you want to be a role model or not, right? So you cast a shadow, and sometimes we don't get to choose whether we're role models. If we're in public view, and somebody says, hey, I want to be like that person, or I like what they're, the vibe they're giving, they're a role model, right? So as you do things, Petey, understand, and not only that, people see you and people cheering you on. And, I'm proud of what I see and what I'm involved with you, the projects you're working on, all those kind of things. So we're cheering you on. Sorry, Jasmine, go ahead.
Okay, 100%. I'm echoing you right behind you. Part of my session is around sort of knowledge and roots, and it's really in particularly focused on our migration story, our stories ourselves, like what leads us to our purpose and how did we get here. Also sort of just recognizing what does it mean to be identified in a class around API, and sort of what does it mean as Indigenous peoples and folks to sort of be a part of this collective fight with one another. So a part of our conversation there is really just to sort of talk with young people about our stories. I realized that there is no way I would be where I am today without sort of the migration of my grandparents and my mother who came here, my grandmother who came here from American Samoa, who left Fangamalo and decided to uproot her life here in America, and my grandfather who left his village in Savaii in Samoa to come here. I recognized that all of what I had been able to do had much to do with the transition and migration story of them, and even their migration story here in America and what that experience looked like and what it felt like. A lot of the conversation I'll be talking about with some of the young people is really being able to think about this radical imagination of what those stories are and what they felt like, and how do we tell our stories so that we can connect that to sort of what grounds us and what brings us to this space and work. Because one of the things oftentimes we see about young people, and particularly our young Pacific Islander young people, is that we know how to be a servant leader and we know how to show up and serve and take care of one another. But sometimes finding our own identity and our purpose sometimes gets hidden and lost in between all of that. And so part of what we hope to discuss and share within our workshop is helping navigate between our cultures, our families, and really being able to find ourselves and what sort of brings us and leads us, because it's that story that Petey talks about that is literally why he's doing what he's doing now, is because he's been able to tap into that potential, that story of himself, really knowing what is he passionate about, what does he care about, what does he love to do. And those are some of the things that I'll be tapping in with our young people, but really sort of diving in the intersections between how does that really look like in our real lives, in our communities, but also in our culture and in our families.
Man, that flow is inspiring. She gets on a roll about what she's passionate about, and I love hearing it just come naturally as to what's important, why it's important, all those kind of things. So if I could, I would be there. If you guys do it again, these are things that our people need to see. And I think that there may be there may be a kid out there at some point that's like, hey, I'd like to change things at school. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think this is right. And they may not see somebody that looks like them doing it. Then they see Jasmine and they go, Samoans or Polynesians or Pacific Islanders do that kind of thing, right? Manufoli Ainga on Hawaii is she's in education, right? So there could be, little girls that see what she's doing. And there can be people that see Petey's path and go, hey, you know what? I can relate to that. Like, I can still win. I can still win in life. And it doesn't mean that life is over because I was incarcerated or because I had adversity. And I think that there's been an unsaid, I'm old enough. I'm definitely older than you all. I remember when it was like, you went to prison and man, that was it. That was like there was no coming back. And to see the path, and not that, it can be done, it is being done, and have somebody out there that's willing to share, be vulnerable and open to share their story, man, that's inspiring. So I'm going to run it down real quick about the Asian Pacific Islander Resiliency Summit. It's going to bring together formerly incarcerated and justice impacted APIs, directly affected people, activists, advocates, experts, and policymakers from across the region to connect and offer reassurance, resources, and restoration to our communities. So this is it's created by and created for those of you that know what FUBU is, just like that, led by and driven by formerly incarcerated individuals. So these are important conversations to have, and I'm so happy to see us leading the conversation. So we don't need somebody else to tell, hey, help the Polys, hey, help the Pacific Islanders, and they're an ally. Allies, definitely. Allies have their place. I love it when we can't do things without allies, right? But to be able to tell our own story, to be able to get on stage and point to the summit, to point to the people that are going to speak tomorrow. Powerful. Does this look like it's going to be a continual program, or is it at this point we're going to get through tomorrow and then see how it goes? I'll throw it out to Jasmine.
It is the intention for them to continue it and continue to sort of further invest in API communities across the Central Valley and particularly in Stockton.
Okay. So I see Jasmine muting her microphone because there's noise, and it's a PI podcast, right? There's kids in the background. There's dogs barking. That's just how we get
Crazy.
down.
I'm sorry.
Do not apologize. That's how we do. So, and our audience is PI. So if the PIs that are watching hear kids running around in the background, that's natural, right? That's not even, they probably don't even hear it. So do not worry about that. Before we go, there's two things I want to ask. Is there anything else that you want to get out about the summit? And then I had another question. It's AAPI month, right? What does it mean to you, right? So is there anything else you want to get out about the summit, Petey? And then what does AAPI month that we are, 11 days in right now mean to you?
As far as the summit, I'm just super excited to meet and hear the stories, get to tap in with the youth. I just feel blessed about that. And what does this month mean to me? It's kind of hard to say. I've been thinking about my parents a lot lately during this month. So I've just been in heavy reflection on their journey and their story and just what all this means. Like where I'm at today, like how did I get here? What's going on? And so I would say it just means or just feels like I'm being a lot more thankful this month.
Awesome. I think our elders and our parents are, all of that generation always holds a special place in our heart as Polynesians. So being reflective in the month that we celebrate us seems natural. Jasmine, how about you? Anything else you want to get out about the summit? And then what does AAPI month mean to you?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just most excited to see our presenters. I think this is probably one of the first faces I've seen in Stockton, at least, that is holding space with so many PI leaders who are sort of in this position to lead and sort of, meet with young people. It's been sort of a dream of mine to see that happen in Stockton. And I think, I'm also excited about the young people who are there, and whether or not you register or not, I would just say show up. Who cares? We're not turning no one away. And, whether or not you're a youth or an adult or an elder who just wants to listen and hear what's happening, we welcome and open it to everyone. And so in terms of what does AAPI History Month or Heritage Month mean, I think it's really easy to sort of get distracted with a lot of what culture and folks are saying right now, especially in the height of what, we recently saw what occurred at the White House. It sometimes, as Pacific Islander communities, could be very frustrating when we talk about visibility and being a part of a month that you hope to be celebrated, acknowledged, and seen. And sometimes we recognize that we aren't in many of the spaces. But I also remember the elders who sat at those meetings in the 60s and 70s, our Samoan elders who fought for us to be a part of the Pacific Islander sort of group. And so our Pacific Islanders to be a part of the AAPI group, I think I remember that fight and struggle and the conversations that they have. I think when I think about that month, I think about one of my good sisters, Teresa's grandfather, who was a chief in San Francisco, who sat at the table, who fought for Pacific Islanders to be seen. I think about him, and I think about my grandparents and my grandmother. And there's a quote that says, if you come here to help me, you're wasting your time. But if you come here because your liberation is bound in mind, then let us work together. And I think that quote oftentimes reminds me of why this month is important, but every other day that we fight for our folks. And oftentimes folks, feel like I work at the intersections of everybody else. But what folks oftentimes miss is that my fight and liberation for every other community is a fight for the freedom and liberation of our own people. people back home in our islands and both here. And I think about that month and sort of how I tried to sort of sit and honor all of the amazing Pacifica leaders who you mentioned, Manu Fo. I think about Alisi. I think about Nani. I think about you all. I think about Petey. I think about Dean in the Central Valley. I think about Tana in San Diego. I think about all the incredible Pacifica leaders who have been holding down the front lines for decades and years, who've been incredible leaders. And I hope that we can continue to teach them to our babies and our children. And I'm excited about my sister, Teresa Singatonu, who's going to be releasing a children's book soon, you know, and being able to, during this month and every other month, being able to tell all my other friends to read this book with their families. Like, I just can't wait for moments and opportunities where the visibility of our people continue to just grow and grow. And I think it's platforms like this that remind us that we have the capacity to be able to tell our stories, and it's up to us to continue to hold that line so that others can tell our stories. And I just want to acknowledge you and Naki, because I think the work and the conversations that you all have are really what keeps us thriving and alive and on our stories. You know, we are orators. Our stories and history sort of is aligned with all of that. And it's because of platforms like this that we can continue to keep our heritage, culture, history, and stories alive. So just want to acknowledge you all and celebrate you all this month. And that's what it really means to me and others, and that we just share across the sector all of the work you all are doing.
Well, thank you so much. And there's that fire again. It just came out. Like, she just got rolling and there's no stopping it. And I love that. I love that. I like seeing us be orators and us lead and us take our own, you know, put our own people on our back and pull us forward. You brought up a really good note, and there is the elders, like the Samoan Civics Association in San Francisco, that were holding it down decades ago. You know, I've really, every time just when you said that about your grandfather, I was thinking, man, we need to do something, you know, some kind of documentary on that group that was doing it years, decades ago, and really paving the road for where we're at. So if only I knew somebody that was good at that, maybe that was working on a program right now with PBD, with Timena Moli. So we'll talk, but yeah, it's to think about our elders doing it, you know, when there wasn't YouTube and all these things, and you had to go to every meeting personally. All those, you know, the work they put in needs to be recognized. So I want to recognize you. What's important to me for Pacific Islander Month is we are celebrating ourselves. I love that. I love seeing us all get, you know, and not from the standpoint of how do people see us, right? But how do we see our Pacific Islander? So all three of us are talking about us being, you know, proud of who we are and those kind of things. And I like that it's more internal than it is external for most of the Pacific Islanders. I like that happened. That what happened with the White House initiative, I like that happened because it keeps it out there, right? Like, this is supposed to be the month where there is no erasure and there's actually amplification and those kind of things. So when it happened, you know, it irked me. Of course, it irked every Pacific Islander. But then I was like, you know what? It's publicized, it's out there. So I am proud of you guys. If there were no PBD, you still would be doing the work. If there were no you, there'd be nobody for us to highlight. So the important people are going to be on stage tomorrow talking about API resiliency in the summit. It's going to be yourself and a few other speakers. Just know that your community is proud of you. We're cheering you on. We love seeing what you do. We love you representing us. And thank you for all you do. So that's it for us. Hope maybe next year PBD will broadcast. It'd be virtual or something, but love what you're doing. Thank you for spending time, because I know you both were busy tonight, and you both, obviously Jasmine's busy. And Petey, I think you're building lays tonight. Not sure, but you're at a church event. So busy lives. Thank you both so much, and knock 'em dead tomorrow. Thank you.
Oh my God. Jasmine,
it was a good time.
Petey Toilolo. our very own Petey. That was amazing. Um, I'm just in awe of the both of them. They've come so far in the work that they're doing. And Petey is so humble. He talks like, oh, for me to like, he is crazy amazing. He came out like just busting through. Just
He hit the ground running.
Yeah,
And I think he said something in that interview that I really love is when he was in, he was thinking about being out, and he was laying the groundwork and making connections and creating a network and doing all those things you need to do to win when he gets out. And that this is just him executing what he put in place years ago.
Right.
So fantastic to see it. It's really good to see from the PI standpoint of, we have our brothers and sisters that are incarcerated. They need to see that there's a road out there
when you get
right.
out.
There's a way, there's a pathway back in to, to a life, to a career, to, getting in touch with the community, all those good things. So that summit actually happened today. So congratulations to all the participants. If I know about it before, if we get notice, I'm going to make that next year if they have the same kind of thing. But
I'm sure they will. So congratulations to them. It's an amazing event. And so we will talk to Petey more and get more details, I'm sure, soon. And we're going to catch up with Jasmine real soon as well. So great interview. Good job. Good job.
Easy with those two.
Hey, Maury. Good evening. Maury is checking in. Nani Wilson, sister, we were just talking about you. Jasmine just shouted you out.
Just shouted your name out.
She just shouted you out
randomly. She was just thinking in her head, who am I proud of? Who do I love seeing?
She was calling Nani out. Calling Nani out. And here comes Nani. So that was a great event, a great interview. So thank you to them for joining us. We're almost out of here. Just give us a couple of more minutes, and we're gonna do our Pacifica Proud, which of course is who we point out or shout out for the amazing work. I mean, we all do amazing work, and it's just we pick someone every week. We could go on and on and on.
This is a special week.
This is a special week, especially as talking about the Polynesian Heritage Awards. So of course we're talking about Manufo Liainga on Hawaii. We want to give her a huge shout. Papa Li'i. Thank you for the correction. Papa Li'i Manufo Liainga on Hawaii, Pacific Islander Community Partnership. She is our Pacifica Proud this week for all the great work that she continues to do for Pacific Islanders and all the work that she does for Daly City and San Francisco, and that she shines the light every day. And we literally celebrate her every day of the year. So
yeah, that event it's so nice to see an event for us, put on by us. We know it's the Hawaii family's event, right? So we know that it's going to be culturally correct. We know that it's going to be well thought out. We know that it's going to be family run. There's so many things that goes into the events that Manufo and her family put on, that when you see it and you're going, all the hard work and the heart work that's put into that. Right. The family's been working on everything that's there for weeks, if not months. And congratulations to Manufo and her family for an absolute home run, grand slam, whatever the superlative was we want to use. Right. That was a win. That was a huge event. And anytime like we can go to one place and see all of us all dressed up and
and it's so just real quick on a little bit of history of the Polynesian Heritage Awards. Her kids had asked her for her birthday, because her birthday is May 2nd, and they asked her, what do you want to do for your birthday, like 5 years ago? And she said, I don't want anything, but I want you guys right, like her kids, to celebrate, at the time was have a luncheon celebrating our Pacific Islander community. And they were like, okay.
In true Hawaii fashion, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it big.
So that's
go big or go home. And boy, it's getting bigger every year.
Yes. So there you go.
Obviously it's a shout out. Go make the event next year. But for this week, our Pacifica Proud is Manufo, and thank you so much for everything you do for the community.
Yes. So that is our show.
There she is.
That is our show for today.
Lady.
Yes. That is our show for today. We will be back next week sometime, maybe Thursday maybe Friday-ish. But we had a great time all week, all the events, J2E. Oh my gosh, the Rhythmic Catalyst concert. Polynesian Heritage Awards, like everything, and
it's just opening up.
It's just
It
opening
is.
up.
There is a bunch of more events every week. And
Every
it's nice
week.
to see this. We're getting back to like post-COVID type activity.
Yes.
It's good to see. It's just good to see like faces and give people hugs, give them a
Yes.
kiss, and
Yeah.
and congregate.
Yes. So we will be back next week. Thank you for joining us. Special thank you to Jasmine and Petey Toilolo for joining us this
And Wody.
evening. And whoever Wody is.
Wody's his dog.
Oh, his dog. We will see you next week. Come back to Faika with us.
Love y'all.